Alright, it's time to do the very first task in WebGoat. There's a new series, so let's go ahead and do the introduction. We did that already in the first video. And they have a general tab here. We can learn about HTTP basics. So it basically just gonna tell us that we can do a GET request and some use agent. You know, this is not really a video for me to explain you this, because this is just another topic, but I strongly suggest that if you are already now thinking, I have no idea what this is, I don't know that string, I never seen it before, you are too early to do WebGoat. There are different kind of lessons here. You can go ahead and do some stuff, and you know, I'm not really gonna do that, but it's a really good place for you to learn that. Also about the HTTP proxy, is gonna talk about the OWASP SAP. I would probably suggest you use Burp instead, but you know, it's OWASP, they create a SAP as well, so yeah. Alright, so also gonna talk about developer tools, and I don't think I have it installed on this computer. Let's see, I did not. It's F12 to me. Oh, it's the same one opening. Yeah, so that's just the F12 inspector I usually call. You can zoom in that, and it's really good. So that's also another thing we need to think about. So whenever you have a web page, you will see its visual representation, and that is the front end. It's in your browser, and that's when we can press F12, for example, or right click and say view source. But that's not the same thing. Viewing source is gonna tell us the actual HTML and CSS, borrowing stuff. Pressing F12 you can access stuff like network tab, and you can see headers and get more extension information. You can inspect elements. You can go ahead and execute JavaScript directly on the side if there's any insecure JavaScript functionalities there for you to use. Alright, so CIA triad is also really important for you to understand. It's just a triad talking about what is confidentiality, what is integrity, and of course what is availability. And that's really what they do talk about. When you did that, you know, write new lessons. I don't know what that is. Lessons group should need to add new lessons to WebGoat in general. Okay, so you can do something like that. It's great. Alright, so the very first one is broken access control, and we can pick stuff like hijack a session, insecure direct object reference, also commonly known as IDOR insecurities, missing function level access control, holy moly, spoofing and authentication cookie. Now I think the very first one to look for is the insecure direct object reference, which is, well, is this a lesson or just a read? Alright, so let me just see. Is this a lesson or just a read? I don't really know. That's very funky. I haven't done WebGoat for a long time, so I'm just viewing this out. Okay, so direct object reference is about when you have this URL right there, for example. You can press it. It's not going to work because it's it's not for the it's not a real company. But it's when you have this, for example, an ID of some sort. It doesn't really matter how it's formatted in the URL, because all that is read by the backend. It's going to interpret that and take out the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And whether it's represented by a type of lookalike variable in the URL, like ID equals 1, 3, 4, 5, or image or slash something, it doesn't really matter at all. It's just way it's interpreted by the backend depends on how the code's written, and you should basically be aware of that. So that is something you do not know when you are testing from the front end. You do not know how the backend is coded, so you need to figure out whether this is a direct object reference or it's just a identification number tied to the user's session. The insecure one is that you can alter it, for example. So you have the 23398 and you say 23399. What happens then is, if the backend is insecurely made, well, then you are accessing it. Now it says user. That's very important to understand that it's not insecure if, for example, you had the same URL and it said book in a bookstore browsing books. Of course, books has IDs, and if they created the browsing functionality with IDs, then you will see the actual ID number of the book, and that is, of course, what it should do. Number 2 is authentication abuse, authorization later. So it says many exploitatory issues are susceptible to attack from an authenticated but unauthenticated user. So let's start by legitimately authenticating, and then we take away the pass. So the ID and the password of the account is in this case are Tom and Kat in this app, right? So okay, so Tom and Kat, I don't know. Not safe. You are now logged in as Tom. Please proceed. I don't know what that point was. Anyways, show hints. Log in first. Okay. Number 3. We got the green, not the green one. So, do we need to do anything here? It's not green. No, it's not red. Ah, okay, it's good. Observing differences in behaviors. We logged in, and we have the name Tomcat and the color yellow and the size small. Text list 2 attributes that are in search response but don't show above the profile. Okay, so a consistent principle from the offensive side of AppSec is to view differences from the raw response to what is visible. In other words, as you may have already noted in the client-side filtering lesson, there's often data in the raw response that doesn't show up in the screen page. View the profile below and take a note in the differences. In the text below, list the 2 attributes that are in the search response. I don't know, like yellow and small. Is that what they comma delimited? Okay, so let's do that. I know what I want to post. Honestly, I have no idea what I want to post. No. Attributes. Well, maybe that is color and size. I don't know. That's what I think about. No. So look at the browser tools, dev tools, proxy to compare what's displayed on the screen. So let's do that. Let's look at the tool. And let's do the memory, storage. Let's see what we can get here. Nothing there, nothing there. WebGoat, we have a login sessions, great. We have nothing going on there. We're gonna take the inspector, scroll a bit, and press this button here to the left, and then just casually selecting this part here, open it below. And it says exactly as we noticed. This is Tomcat, color yellow, size small. Let me just scroll down a bit. So maybe I'm not understanding what they write, but it's very standard, lesson, and whenever they are very standard, it's a bit confusing what they want to teach. So I'm gonna read this again. In the text input below, list the 2 attributes that are in the service response, but does not show in the profile. Okay, so the response, I should have read that a bit more. So we're gonna, go ahead and can I get the profile response? So click the button, click the profile, and see if you can get some responses here. Now, you're not really seeing anything in this particular example here because we're just looking at the actual headers. But I was just checking if I see anything. So let's see if we can double click. And we could do that. So what we see here is the name, the user ID, and that, and the role. So I don't know if they want me to write, that's the thing. I have no idea what I want to write. So like role and user ID, maybe that is. Okay, so that's what they want to show. So these lessons can be quite, mind baffling sometimes. What is it they actually want? And it's just, you know, the extra information sent. They call it attributes. So I was like, yeah, that's attributes, that's the values, but we don't know. So that's really good. Let's do number 4. Please input the alternate path to the URL to view your own profile. Please start with the WebGoat disregard HTTP. Alright, so please input the alternate path URL to submit. 1. Okay. I have no idea what my path is. It's a RESTful one. Is it user/1, for example? No. Should I have been paying attention to the actual number? Let's just get it one more time. So view profile, double click the lesson, user ID. Okay. And the way it's gonna, let me see if you can see the path. Well, maybe not. Anyways, let's go to number 4. Can I just do that? No. That? No. Application working for the RESTful profile. I don't know what the path is. I have no idea. No. Many apps. Let me just get the hint, because I'm not gonna look at the previous request for a profile. This is similar. Yeah, I already did that. I should have just done exactly what I did before. So let's do that. Zoom in. You know, this is the casual web stuff. So this is the actual GET request we sent, and it says something like WebGoat IDOR profile. So maybe they want me to do something like that. Let me just scroll down a bit. WebGoat IDOR/profile. It's a bit weird to have IDOR in it, but congratulations. Okay, so it was that exact title. URL path. The way you're gonna figure it out is when you have it open here in the Explorer, you can, as I showed you before, just take this GET request as the one you executed. Now, if you don't know if this is the GET request or not, you can go back and just press the button, and you can basically see that something happens immediately. And if you're not sure, you can try a few times more and it should be clear. So that is the way, and then you can say there's a GET request. So this is the way. Anyways, go to number 5 and playing with the patterns, viewing another profile. Alright, so it's not really showing anything. Use the profile button to intercept, modify request, view another profile. Alternatively, you may also use. So now it says intercept. So what I need to do now is, this is the part where you need to have Burp Proxy installed and all that. So if you don't already have that, it's not the video for it, but basically you can go ahead and find another video on my YouTube channel explaining how to set up Burp Proxy, or just go ahead and search for it on the interwebs. Burp should be booting up right now, and while that is going to boot up, I have also installed Foxy Proxy, so I can just direct all my traffic to Burp, which is another thing you all need to do. It's taking its time, isn't it? Let me just see, can I? Yes, please. What? Okay, so it needs to update. It's a beautiful example of, now we have an issue with Burp because I updated Java. So maybe we can go ahead and do sudo apt get install burp suite and say the password, and we can just do that casually while we're running this video. It doesn't really matter. It's also going to show the things that I always have a struggle with. So let's go back again and let's do burp and see if we can get it to boot this time. Yes, we can. And let's see if we can get it to start. That would be beautiful. Well, the extra waiting time is, just keep it. That's a temporary project, use burp default, and then we're gonna go ahead and direct the traffic to burp, just like that, boom. Now it's directed to burp. And I should be able to go into proxy, intercept is on, that's good. And just basically press the button and see if I do capture anything with burp. Where is it again? So I need to do an update there, just something. Intercept is on. Is it running? And if you have trouble getting this to work, now I just update it. So you're gonna go ahead and check your proxy settings, which is 127 8080, which is the same as the WebGoat. So we're gonna go ahead and edit this to 8081 and just close it down, go back to proxy, whatever, and open this again and say you want to edit the information you have and say 881. That's straightforward, it's just a text field, shouldn't be giving you any trouble, and we hope this is gonna make it work. So let's go to the proxy intercept is on, update, and no, it's not going. Let's see. If I change this to the one, it's not working either because it's. I need to direct traffic to burp. Stupid me. And whoops, the proxy is refusing. Why is that? So now I'm having real issues here with burp. Let me just see. Do I have any? No. Yeah, it is exactly this new version. Nothing different. 8081. It should work. Burp. Alright, so yeah, it is firing it off inside here. So let me just see. I did get the request. Let's drop it and see if we can update that. Yes. Okay, so now we have it. Okay, that would be a thing. Let's go back. Intercept is on and press the button, and you can see the request. I don't think I can zoom on this. This is gonna be also another interesting lesson on how to use burp. So can we do like settings and font, something like that? Yeah, I think so. Change font. Change to font 18. Boom. Okay, let's do a bigger font then, because we need to see this on your screen. It's quite small. So we get all this as we press the button view profile, and we can see that we have this percentage UL encoding thing, but this is user ID. And I don't see any numbers associated with the user ID here. We could probably do slash and then our own profile and forward that, and forward and just drop intercept, and if nothing happens, it's because it didn't work. So what we can do into like a default request here won't work at all, so we need to manually craft and request a timer with a proxy, which is exactly what we're doing right now. So what we could do is go back one more time, view profile, and we have it in burp. Just go ahead and send it to intruder. So right click here and send to intruder, drop the request, go back, and now you have the intruder. So you can go ahead and let's just close number 1. I don't know what that is. Say close. And number 2, and oh, sorry, not intruder, repeater. I mean, so send to repeater instead. And then you go ahead and send to repeater. And the response here is you have internal server errors and cannot invoke this and that and yada yada. Okay, so we're gonna go back here and say, what if you put in your own ID? And I don't want this, it's disturbing me. And then you get, you know, this not found thing. So we can go ahead and try user 8085 and see if this is gonna work for us. It didn't seem it worked. So we need some sort of, you know, also path you already used to view profile. So that is the one called IDOR profile. I think they used user ID. Let me just say response. No. And then maybe 84, which was my profile. Yeah. So it would seem like it gave us a response back. You need to use some of the same methods, and I don't know, 83. No. Just save my ID because I need to have it. So number 1. I don't know what the ID should try and access. Maybe we can intercept the traffic as well just by pressing the button, and you get that there, and we could try and double click it and see this long error here we got from Java. Not gonna help us a lot. We can put that. And what do we see? I see yeah, we see this kind of WebGoat IDOR profile. I don't think we need this. Oh, so this is a replacement. Maybe that is why it doesn't work, because we need to replace it with something. And that's what we did already in burp profile, WebGoat IDOR profile. Isn't that true? Let me just be 100% sure here. So I'm going to take this request and say, oh, your profile, wow, yeah, there we go. WebGoat IDOR profile, yes. So WebGoat IDOR profile, and this is not gonna give us anything other than need to, you know, so we need the IDs of another user then. I don't know exactly what that could be, but let's just try a few ones. No. Doesn't give us anything. Okay. Our own ID is gonna give this, alright, this works, but I don't know. Doesn't seem like we can get it to work in any way. Maybe we should just try a few more. So I don't know, 87, no, 88. Okay, so okay, we got one here. It's Buffalo Bill. That is the pain of doing this. So what you could do is you could have sent this to the intruder instead, and you know, sent this to, you know, increase in numbers, but now we have that. I don't know. Okay, so it kind of says this is okay. So let's go to number 6, and it's not something with a task, so yeah, that's it. Alright, so let's go to the target one more time, the proxy, intercept on, press the button, see what we get, and we got the same IDOR profile user. So nothing different there. So that's really the task. So I wanna talk about exactly now what happens when you do these kind of things. first of all, I'd like to say that these lessons you find on different kind of platforms like this is very difficult for someone like me, for example. I'm not saying that I'm Superman or anything for hacking, but I'm just saying that because I've been doing it for a long time, I'm used to using the correct words. And that is not phrased exactly always when you read this 101 hack, because it is not exactly how it works in reality, but it's very close. So of course you'll learn something, but I would say that to get the real experience of an IDOR vulnerability, you basically need to go ahead and try it on a real virtual machine that is vulnerable, preferably something on one of the web pages you can find, like Hack the Box, for example, or Try Hack Me, or these kind of different web pages you can hack on. So this was me trying to understand, this very interesting text, and when I look at it, I was like, yeah, okay, so this is what I wanted to do. And the pain of going through these numbers and repeat them is just, well, the way it is. What you could do is that you can try and create some more users. That is what you typically would do in order to verify how the backend is handling the numbers. Because this is what I marked here. That is an actual user number, 2342388. And so I have 2342384. Would that basically mean that the next one would be 92 because I jumped 4? Now this is just a WebGoat, so I don't really think it got any extensive user installed, so I can test this theory. But definitely I would create 2, maybe 3 users to see if I see a pattern in the actual profile ID, so I can try and access them. Anyways, IDOR in the insecure direct object reference is when you can access an object by some sort of number or letter identification from a get or post put request, and then also get delete request. Something you can access in a way, reference that you shouldn't be able to do. So I really hope you learned something with the video. We definitely got some issues here and there with a version, this and that. So that is, of course, what I face and struggle with. And sometimes I just feel I should show you, because all these polished videos out there is not really what I do, and I just want to make sure that I show you as much as possible from the real world as well. Leave a comment below if any questions. I'm definitely gonna get back to you as soon as I can. Also, give the video a thumbs up, really help me a lot, and spread the video on YouTube and the good news. So stay healthy and lift some weights, yeah.